Hello everybody, this is Stefano. Welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited about today's topic. We are going to talk about Finnish. I'm going to speak English in this video because this way I won't have to spend too much time with subtitles. If you'd like to listen to my Finnish, just check out the video that you can find there in the upper left. Is it left? No, in the upper right corner. All right. So today's topic is Finnish. I'm very excited about it. As you may know, Finnish is probably my favorite language right now. So this is really great. It's going to be interesting. We're going to explore why Finnish is considered such a difficult language and what it is that makes Finnish so difficult. But in the second part of the video, I will also touch upon the aspects of Finnish that are actually not that difficult, that can make it easy. I'm not saying, I don't want to say easy, but that actually mitigate the difficulty of Finnish. And there are quite a few of them. So make sure you keep watching, and I really hope you enjoy. So the first big obstacle in learning Finnish is its vocabulary. The sheer fact that it's not an Indo-European language, but it belongs to the Finno-Ugric family, means that most words will not be easily recognizable. It's not going to be easy to just guess the meaning of a word if you don't know the root of the word, basically. There are still words that are easily recognizable, like televisio for television, or pankki for a bank, or words that come from or are derived from Russian and Swedish, which are the languages that are spoken next to Finland. Like the case of leipä for bread, I think it's chleb in Russian, I'm not sure, and tuoli for chair, which makes me think of the German word Stuhl. But other than that, even words that are very international, such as a telephone or a computer or system, which are very similar in most European languages or even languages in the world, are very different. We have, for example, puhelin for telephone, tietokone for computer, and järjestelmä for system, and so on. So yeah, this is actually part of what prompted me into starting to learn Finnish, because I really wanted to explore this new language. It's a completely new language, and start learning from scratch like a child would. So this can be really a really amazing experience, but it's hard. Obviously, it's really hard. You need a lot of practice and motivation. The second and probably most notorious obstacle is the Finnish case system. You may know that German has 4 cases, Russian has 6, I think, and other Slavic languages have 7 or maybe 8, I'm not sure, but Finnish has 15. There are people saying that you don't need to learn all 15, you only need 12. I don't actually agree with that. I think at least 14 are necessary. There is one that is really seldom used, but I think you do need to at least fully understand 14 cases. But this is not the point. The point is that the usage of these cases may be quite tricky. So let's give some examples, shall we? The word for house is talo, and it's very often used as an example word when showing the declension of Finnish words. If I am in a house, I am talossa. If I come from a house, out of a house, I come talosta. And if I'm going into a house, I will go taloon. And this is just an example of how Finnish cases work. You may think, all right, Finnish cases just substitute for prepositions in other languages, so that's pretty okay, right? But actually there are prepositions and even postpositions in Finnish as well, and each one of them uses a certain case that you have to learn. Let's give an example of this. The word for with is kanssa, and it's a postposition and uses the genitive case. So if I want to say with Stefano, I'm going to say Stefanon kanssa. The word for without is ilman, and is a preposition and uses the partitive case. So if I want to say without Stefano, it's going to be ilman Stefanoa. This is more or less how it works. This wouldn't be that bad if it wasn't for the third big obstacle in learning Finnish, which is the infamous consonant gradation. Consonant gradation basically means that word roots will change their form depending on what case you are going to attach to them. Let's give an example of this, shall we? Alright, so the word for water, or water, depending on your English accent, is vesi. But if you're drinking some water, you cannot just say, I am drinking vesi. You have to say, I am drinking vettä. So the SI ending changes into double TA. And again, if you are washing something with water, this water is not going to be vesi, and it's not going to be vettä, it's going to be vedellä. You're adding the double LA ending, but the word itself is changing to adapt to the ending. I hope I have tried to explain as clearly as possible. I hope it's kind of clear, but please ask me questions in the comment section below if this is not clear enough. I'm going to answer to all your questions. So consonant gradation actually gets even tougher when you are dealing with adjectives and the comparatives and superlatives. So it can be a real mess, to tell you the truth. But there's another aspect which also adds to this complexity of the language, and this is my fourth and last point among the difficulties of this language. And this is the big difference that there is between spoken language and written language in Finnish. This has basically to do with the fact that people tend not to speak as you would write, and that spoken language really follows different rules than written language. I can tell you from my personal experience that this was a pretty big setback when I was learning Finnish. I kind of was able to express myself in written language, but in written Finnish, but when people would answer, I wouldn't be able to really understand what they were saying, what they were answering to me, even though my Finnish was relatively good at the time. A couple of the examples of this could be when you want to say, we will go, let's go. Technically, in written Finnish, you should say menemme, but nobody says that, okay? You will never hear people actually say menemme. They would say mennään. Or let's meet. You will never hear tapaamme, but you will hear tavataan, and so on. There are also changes happening in the vocabulary because many longer words, such as makuhuone for bedroom, or televisio for television as we already saw, or mahdollisuus for possibility, opportunity, a chance, they change respectively into makkari, telkkari and mahis when people are speaking. So this can be a little tricky, but it's not that bad though, because you actually, with a little bit of practice and exposure to the language for especially, you will notice that you can start guessing what the spoken version of a certain written structure is. And you can start integrating it into your spoken Finnish more and more as time passes. Okay, but now enough of all this stuff, enough of bad things, of negative things. Let's talk about what is actually not so difficult in Finnish, what can be even said to be easy in Finnish. Let's find out. The first big thing is that Finnish has a very consistent spelling system. All right? So you hear what you read what you write, and you write what you hear. If you hear a Finnish word, you should be able to write it down, no problem. There are just a couple of very tiny exceptions, but they are so small that it's not even worth talking about them, so I won't in this video. pronunciation is not that bad if you get used to or are already used to double consonants and double vowels. You can easily adapt to pronunciation in Finnish. Another very easy thing is stress. Stress is always on the first syllable. You cannot make mistakes there. It's always on the first syllable. Even with infamously super long Finnish words such as epäjärjestelmällisyyden länsäkäänköhän, the stress is on the first syllable, all right? You just can't go wrong on this. The second thing is that there is no future tense. That's right. In Finnish you say tomorrow I go, next year I go. You don't have to worry about adding any extra tense or learning extra tense for the future. You just say when something is going to happen. But the third and most important aspect in this list is the fact that Finnish has no gender whatsoever and also no articles. So all those difficult declinations of articles in German with cases and different genders, or the many articles that you have, for example, in Italian, illola, illile, and all those things, they just don't apply for Finnish. And this is very important to point out because this makes the case system actually much easier or less difficult to learn. When using a word in a certain case, you don't have to worry about it being a feminine or masculine. It's just that word and you have to deal with consonant gradation as we saw earlier, but you don't have to worry about gender or about articles. The fact that there is only one gender or there is no gender also means that the declension is just one. You have only one declension. It is true that you have a lot of cases, but at least all nouns are going to be declined in the same way. You don't have different declensions as you do, for example, in Latin, in Russian, in German, and in many other languages with cases. There is one more aspect that I want absolutely to mention in this video, and this is the Finns. Yes, you heard it. You heard it right. The Finns, they are great. They will help you learn the language. If you're learning the language, if you're showing them how much you care about their culture, about their language, and if you're really putting the effort to learn Finnish, they are going to help you. And they're also going to understand you, even if you make a lot of mistakes. Even if you don't get a single case right, they will understand what you want to say. And if you kindly ask them to help you learn the language, they will. They will maybe slow down when they speak. They will make the extra effort to understand you, and you're going to be fine. I hereby want to say a big thank you, a big kiitos to all the Finns that I have known in my life and that have in their small way, in a tiny little way, helped me master this language. Practice it and master it at the end. So, kiitos paljon kaikille. Thank you for watching, have a great time, and see you in the next video. Bye bye. Oh, one more thing I was almost going to forget to say is if you're learning Finnish or if you have learned Finnish in the past, please let me know what you think, share your experience, let's discuss it in the comment section below. I'm really looking forward to hearing from you. And so now that's really it for today. See you next time. Bye bye.